Hello, hello.
Welcome everyone. We're back. We've had a slight name change. We're now the sloth and the gentleman. Rod, welcome.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Good. We've got a special guest tonight, Reabz, as he's
What's going on,
formerly known.
boys? I got a PhD in men's psychology and many other studies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Great to have you along tonight for some of the comments.
Yeah, I thought I'd just give my 2 cents on
So,
all that shit.
we were just having a little conversation about violence against women.
Ooh,
Could be a
touchy.
touchy subject. So I'm on the White Ribbon Australia website at the moment, and it is saying that one in 4 women have experienced emotional abuse by current or former partner since the age of 15.
So
Emotional
is that
abuse.
that's a pretty broad term. Like, like is that sexual or is that like,
Well, who
that seems
knows?
pretty fucking broad to me.
Emotional abuse could be anything from me calling my partner
Saying
fat.
Or your cooking's fucking terrible. Pick up your game.
Yeah.
Well, so call someone a fucking strumpet, you know?
So yeah, it sounds like a pretty broad view on it. To a
Yeah.
complicated subject that has many levels to it.
It is a pretty broad fucking view, I think.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's just,
emotional abuse. I mean, there's no like definition there.
no, there isn't.
It just
Have you read it at all? Like, does it say like
well, there's a
specifics or is it?
there's like
It's just
an
statistics.
attached document, like a summary and the key findings and whatnot, but there's no in depth about what constitutes emotional abuse. But I'm assuming it would be
Because-
something like we were just saying. You're cooking shit, or
Yep.
you
Or you're a
smell-
nasty bitch, go lose a couple of kilos. You
Yeah,
know?
or that.
Yeah, and then it's women comparing themselves to actual women who are being actually,
Like, violently.
emotionally. There is emotional abuse. I mean, fuck if you.
Yeah, but my ex partner always used to say to me, "Oh, Matt, just be a man, just man up, be a man. You got to start being a man."
That's
That's
emotional
emotional
abuse.
abuse.
Yeah.
As far
And,
as
we're expected just to take it on the chin, like I did. I just, took it. I didn't take it too much to heart, and
Yeah, and realistically, if you smack that strumpet in the face, no one would have blamed you. You know?
well,
I mean-
I'll get probably a domestic violence order put against me. That's what would happen.
yeah, you'd never see
Was
your
that
kid
bad?
again.
Ah!
You would definitely never see your kid again.
Double standards are unreal. I mean, we're probably going to get taken down for hate speech.
Well, not necessarily. We're not hating on anyone here. We're just.
But that doesn't matter. Like,
No, we're just pointing out facts.
but you're aware now that these days the definitions of things and like actually performing
Go
something
back one
bad is relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like when I got banned from fucking Twitter. When I was banned from Twitter for asking an imam, an Arab priest, how come it's free reign to pick on Christianity and everything like that. No one gives a shit who says anything about Christianity or any other religion.
Yeah.
But you talk shit about Muhammad or anything about their religion, and it's like you'll be banned. You'll be banned from anything, any platform in the world, simply for questioning why they worship a pedophile warlord.
Yeah, but that's because like our backup is always saying like we're trying to be better than that. It's in the same way that we, you go, oh, why can they build fucking mosques in Australia? Meanwhile, if we went to fucking
like
the Middle East and build one, they would just fucking stone you to death, and they'd
That's
say,
right.
well, we're just trying to be better than they are. Like that's
That's
the
right.
that's the comeback.
That's right. Like fucking, why they why they allowed to pick on my god?
Hmm.
Like
But
when 200 years ago, that shit was blasphemy. Could have burned those bastards at the stake. I mean, but anyway, back to women. It's just the same thing.
Yeah.
Back to
It's
But
just,
derail that a little bit. But
well, it's not a derail because like the actual point is exactly the same. There are things that are apparently like not sacred, and then things that are apparently really sacred. But if you ask any rational fucking person the difference, they're identical. So
that's
it's
like that's the radical other side, because obviously there are women who
yeah,
are
it's these commie
abused
Marxist, these Marxist commie fucking wannabe strumpet sluts. That's
Well,
all.
they don't know they're Marxists yet. They're just going that way. That's why, like,
1 in 6
I think
women have
they
experienced
know.
stalking since the age of 15.
Well,
That's
I've
not just
experienced
women.
stalking
see,
too.
like that there again. That could be just some woman going home from her night job, and then some dude happens to be walking like the same way she's going, and then she thinks she's being stalked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Obviously
I'm guessing that
there are.
these these subjects are based on maybe people that have been convicted or whatnot.
Oh, that's what I mean. Like, there's obviously
But I don't know.
minority and the majority case.
But how's this, right? Imagine if it's a lesbian. How does that work? If she's being abused by her lesbian partner, I guess that's...
They don't even talk about it.
But I guess
How often do you ever hear about that, like, you know, on Channel 9 News or Current Affair, fucking this has been happening? How often do you ever see, like, a lesbian woman getting... Like, they never talk about that.
I know.
Because that's the same way that you would say, like, you know, talking about a black person being racist towards a white person on television. They'd never talk about that. They have free reign to do that, so it's the same thing. It's just that you can't... The minority can't be fucking blamed for anything.
Just fucked.
That's
You
right.
know, like I was saying, like before, like that Red Pill fucking documentary. I mean, the cases of even domestic abuse in fucking in America, it's like 46% of men being abused. Yet they have all these shelters.
How's this? 1 in 4 young people think it's pretty normal for guys to pressure girls into sex. Where the fuck did that statistic come from?
Where did they get that statistic from? Because
Is this all from the same page?
Yeah, this is from the White Ribbon Australia website.
Did they have like a link to their source, or are we just like, you know, take it at face value?
It's asking me to download the Line campaign research. Yeah,
It's propaganda. Trying to brainwash
Research.
you.
It's probably some fat bluehead troll bitch that wrote some shit up on a government fucking page.
Let's have a look. The Line campaign from May 2015. Where did they actually take these findings from? The study has shown that social mores that continue to define youth relationships, along with the significant influence of social media, pornography, and porn-inspired popular culture, are poor preparation for young people learning to negotiate sexual relationships. Right. So, they think the fucking hell. Why don't they actually... 1 in 3 people don't think that exerting control over someone else is a form of violence. Okay.
But it's like even that.
Notice they said 1 in 3 people, not actually 1 in 3 males.
Yeah, young people. 1 in 4 young people don't think it's serious when guys insult or verbally harass girls in the street.
I don't think it's serious.
Yeah, but they would like say as far as someone driving past a girl and saying
whistling.
like,
Yeah,
whistling, and then they're like, "Oh, he's abusing me." Like that's just
you ever notice
all the time.
any woman who's actually aesthetically pleasing and attractive doesn't have a problem with being wolf whistled?
No, they don't.
The guy,
Makes it feel good.
It's the people who don't get like whistled who are the ones who are mad about it.
Yeah, the fat ones.
Yeah, because they're not trying hard enough. Because they don't actually know the hard work it goes into to actually be that attractive.
I'm being sexually harassed. I'm a fat fucking pig.
And like all a bloke whistling out to a chick is literally run out of options of how he can like, you know, how can he like, work towards this woman? Oh fuck, I'll just whistle at her. I've run out of options. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, but it's still considered sexual abuse today.
Oh, like one of my cousins, she fucking complains about it when blokes do it.
Well,
I'm like, she's, I mean, I'm not gonna. She's my cousin, so I don't even want to like talk about like whether she's attractive or not. But the fact is that the guys are doing it, and she has a serious problem with it. And it's just like, can't you just take that as you're being appreciated, for your looks? Like, how is that an abuse? Like, fuck.
Yeah,
when a bloke trying to make his advances on a woman gets that, it's just like, well, what the fuck else am I supposed to? The extremes start doing really fucked up shit.
Yeah, but on the other end of the scale, like, to be honest, if a girl's walking down the street and you get wolf whistled, more than likely she's quite obviously attractive, right? But what is she wearing? And people would say it shouldn't matter what she's wearing.
Oh, it shouldn't matter what she's wearing.
She's empowered.
She can. I swear to God, like if she's walking down the
street,
street,
really
attractive, she's got a hat, sunglasses on, and like long
you don't. Yeah, you don't care. You're like, oh, she looks nice.
Yeah,
you
keep
if
she's
to yourself.
Down
but
the
then
street with like gym gear on.
her skirt hiked up to her fucking pussy.
Yeah,
and it's like, it makes you hungry.
They're like, oh, it's 2018. Like women should be allowed to dress how they want without having to be. But it's stupid because it is actually like it's a fucking chemical reaction for a male to go, I fucking want that.
Yeah, it's
just primal. In the same way as when you walk past the fucking shopping center or a food court or whatever, and you smell a hamburger, and then you want a fucking hamburger. There is no difference.
And what did men do before we had fucking, culture and intellectual and all this shit? Is
they smack them on the head with a club.
They eat, kill, and fuck. That's like what humans did. So like, it's honestly primal.
Take to the cave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and what are we just going to deny our primal instinct We're still animals. Like we come from.
Well,
apes,
see,
like,
that's the thing. That brings us to another topic of well, I think we spoke briefly on transsexuals and things like that. All right, physiologically and psychologically, it's completely natural to be repulsed by homosexuality and transsexualism in the same way that you're repulsed by a pedophile or a serial killer, because your fucking brain knows it's not normal, it's out of the normal, so your brain tells you it's incorrect. Whether it's actually incorrect or not makes no fucking difference.
How do you know if it's not normal? How do you know it's not normal?
I think it gets to a point where you'll fuck anything. Like if you're put in like certain situations,
like
if
you go back to say ancient times of say Rome,
I'm not
ancient Greece.
I'm not saying they didn't exist. All I'm saying is that many fucking years, for heterosexualism has still been the fucking norm since the dawn of goddamn time. It's always been the 99%.
It's not though.
The 1%. Well, it is. How do you figure?
It's been the norm since, say, the religious people took over.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with Matt on this one because
look, I'm not saying they didn't fucking exist. I'm not saying that they didn't exist. I'm just saying they had the decency to shut up about it.
It's not even that, but I think it's more like whether you hate, you're disgusted by homosexuality or not. I think that's more of a psychological thing.
It's not about that. The point is, you as a straight male, you don't want to watch men kiss. That doesn't make you a hateful fucking bigot. You not wanting to see it doesn't make you hateful. Yeah, your natural psychological response is like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't care if they're gay or transsexual or anything, but I think...
No one gives a shit, but it's just like, don't parade it. I don't parade being straight. Why the fuck they got to parade that?
Well, yes and no. It's
just
like anyone that's been oppressed for so long, they get a parade and stuff like that. So
fucking
maybe
oppressed.
males should be getting something in a few years.
So when's the white man parade?
Well, the whole point is, I think that we've had it for long enough. That's how
we've never had it. We've been oppressed since the dawn of time.
What, white men? Are you sure?
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
The
white men did a pretty good job on the US when they landed.
Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? Like, in our countries, who have been the ones who've always had to go to war? White men.
Yeah, but I mean...
Yeah, but mostly that was white men invading.
White men invaded here and they, obviously pillaged...
Hey, that's not true. That's not true, Reabz. Let's go back to Rome or something like that.
Well, yeah, let's go to British colonialism.
Well, we could do that, but that's much later on. We have to start from the start,
Yeah,
we can't just erase like 3,000. No, but we're going back as far as we know in history, What's fucking collected, what isn't.
Yeah, but you used to have nomad tribes that just go around.
That's correct.
Just go to different parts of the land. They're obviously the human population at the time, or the.
It's pretty much a matter of like the stronger take over the weak.
Yeah, that's always been the case. It still is the case.
Yeah, and in certain parts of history, it was
white people are being killed and oppressed right now in South Africa. No one gives a shit. Why not?
Well, there was something on the TV about
the farmers. This shit's been going on for 6 years. They've been being butchered.
Is how they're saying they don't care if they kill white people.
That's correct. And white people that's been
going on for like 40 years.
Yeah, and no one gives a shit. Like, they've had all their land illegally taken by the government, given to black farmers. They're going to let it die in 4 years because they don't fucking know agriculture. This already happened.
How long have the white people have the land for, though?
Like 115 years.
It doesn't make it right.
It's British colonialism.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's why people don't really like cry about it, because it wasn't their land to begin with. That's why people don't care.
Well, you know what? By that fucking logic, then no one's land belongs to anyone, right?
Well, yeah, because I mean, we all came from Africa at one point. That's a fact. So I mean, like, you could just keep backdating it to saying, well, it was his land before. That's exactly my fucking point, right? And the point is, white people, right? We didn't stare at the ocean for 5,000 years. We had the decency and fucking ideas to build a fucking boat. Every goddamn culture on Earth had that idea, except Africans. Well, that's once again the strong overpowering the weak.
That's not the strong overpowering the weak.
Yeah, but that's because we became strong because we became more civilized quicker, and then we got to the point where we were able to spread further from our own lands.
Dude, Asians and Arabs became civilized just as fucking fast as we did. So what's
I know. Well, like there's the Ottoman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire. They're all different parts of the world.
That's right. But my point is, they all reached a certain pinnacle of technology at roughly the same time, while these cunts ate shit and sat in mud huts. Are they going to blame white people for that too?
I don't know if they ate shit.
Well, they eat shit now. They eat dirt cookies.
They what?
They eat dirt cookies. You know what a dirt cookie is?
I can imagine shit and dirt.
Yeah, you can imagine. Just about. And I think that, like if they could, they would blame us for that too. You know, prior to our races ever actually meeting, like 2,500 years ago, they'd blame us for that too. They'd be like the white witches sent curses across the sea and made our people lazy.
So we did sort of get off subject again.
Derail.
No, but no, it's not
matter.
even
It's
a
all
derailment.
linked.
It's not even a derailment. It's all fucking connected.
Yeah.
This shit was all started
Yeah,
by
but
communist
you're
war.
going down the rabbit hole with that, so you'll like never get. You know, you need to kind of go somewhere. What you're saying.
No one has to go anywhere. That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
My point is, even if we do go somewhere, we're not getting anywhere. We won't get anywhere, no matter like what pivotal point we fucking hit. There will be no difference.
Mm.
That's the thing, and like, everyone fucking knows full well how all this shit is going to end.
Yeah, will there be some war or something?
Like these Antifa fucking cocks, these fucking cocksuckers, these little fucking bean sprout fucking veggie.
Who is this Antifa? I do not know about this.
You
Oh,
gotta
man.
go watch some protest videos because
Yeah.
it's
But like, just
awesome.
who is it?
they're just like a protest. They're basically a bunch of people protesting for equal rights or equal rights movements and things like that.
And they cover their faces in masks and like
Yeah.
bash old women and shit.
Do they want equal rights, or they just want rights for themselves?
They just want rights for themselves. And what's funny is, man, they're
They're
talking about
really
they're-
anti-Trump supporters and whatnot.
they're anti-Trump, they're anti-violence and everything. But what do? They go set fire to stores and shit like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at all of the left protesters, or like, you know, feminist protesters or transgender protesters, they're more fucking violent, more radical than any other
Of course.
right.
Yeah, it was like
you know.
that interview that Ben Shapiro was on at one stage, and there was an old army guy on there, and he'd transitioned from male to female, and he was talking about, well, no, you're not female, you've still got, you know, male genitalia and stuff.
Yeah, it's biological.
Yeah, but she said some really violent, like, if you don't shut up, I'm going to beat the crap out of you or something.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
this
well, that's
goes
the thing
against,
is
like,
because-
everything.
Well, that's because whenever someone like Ben Shapiro or Jordan Peterson or any of these people come in and they're very intellectual and they make a lot of fucking good points, and then they're very humble in what they say, and they just point out the facts and the logic.
But there's
And
one
these people,
fucking
yeah, let me finish. These people,
Yeah.
like, because they obviously are coming from a place of pure emotion and you know, hatred, and they get to the point where they can't really retort with, you know, clear and concise answers. They just start getting emotional and radical, and that's what
that's
happens to all
right.
these people, because they deep down they know that what they're saying is not whether it's wrong or right or not. They just know it's not simply
That's correct.
correct, and they get very
that's the
emotional.
fucking point. That is the complete fucking point. That people can preach and yell all they want. You can apply.
That's ideology. That's what happens when
That's correct.
ideology is faced
you
with.
can apply, like these people like Shapiro and all these fucking people. They're actually wasting their fucking time in every sense of the word. No matter how many followers they
Yeah, I know,
have.
but if you didn't have people like
That's
them,
the
then
like-
these
that's
people
the-
would just run rampant. And they would
Man,
just,
they are running rampant.
yeah, I know, but at least they're not running rampant as much as they could be with these people, and they're becoming more and more popular.
These people don't stop shit. The only thing that stops these cunts in their tracks is capitalist governments pushing their fucking rights back down the fucking hole. When
Yeah, I
they
know,
move.
but that's a quick solution to a very complex problem, and that's the good thing about people like Jordan Peterson or Ben Shapiro, is that they got a voice for people like us who think this way, and
But-
slowly
but
the masses
you know
will
what?
change.
You know what? There comes a fucking point where eggs have to be broken to make a fucking omelet. That is the reality of the world, and it always has been.
Yeah,
You know
but
what
that's
the truth is? That these fucking cunts, these liberal shitheads, all right, Germany is a prime example. Italy, Brazil are prime examples of what happens when the left pushes too far. You complain about Hitler and shit like that, and look at Brazil now, and look at Italy. They've gotten dictators in power now that are exactly like fucking Hitler.
yeah.
So you go from one extreme to the other, even though we had a healthy middle ground for so fucking long. So now these people are probably actually going to be put in camps, deported, killed, or worse. That's just the way of fucking things. And then they'll actually have more shit to complain about because bad things have actually happened.
That's that. I just linked that in Discord about that transsexual person threatening.
That wanted
Ben
to
Shapiro
threaten the
on-
fucking...
on Doctor.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen her in a few.
She puts her hand on his shoulder and goes, "Now you cut that out, or you'll be."
Yeah, I've seen that. I
Yeah.
could. He's just like, is that a threat? What the fuck?
Yeah, and he's like, "What does your genetics say, sir?"
Yeah, no, I've seen that. She's just like, if you don't cut that
You
out.
cut that out now, or you go home in an ambulance. Yeah, righto. You fucking...
He's just like, excuse me, is that a threat? Like,
But,
all that
like, they're
does is
talking
make her
about
look so
Caitlyn
dumb.
Jenner and how how she got the Courage Award and whatnot.
Oh,
And he's
God.
going, why does she get it when there's men and women in like military service that?
Yeah, you know, men and women who are risking their lives to like fix problems, like, you know, all those people that, you know, so like help people who are dying from Ebola and they're putting themselves at risk or anything like that. Like there's it's fucked. And it's like, and people get so shitty about how like we're supposed to act like it's totally normal. It's like one day fucking Caitlyn Jenner's a bloke and the next day it's a woman, and we're supposed to just be like, oh well, yeah, okay, cool.
You know what? You know what? Maybe I'm just like no different to those fucking radicals on the other side, but I feel like I've been pushed to this point. I will feel like things are normal again when they're all put in fucking camps or burnt to the ground. That's when I'll feel normal again. When I go outside...
but see, the thing is, if we go with your way of handling it, there will be a forcible stop that, and then all that's going to do is enforce the other side. When you push one extreme, the other extreme.
Reabz, there is no force. There is no force on the earth that will stop that, because that is capitalism, and capitalism has ruled the world for 400
years. Okay, but like say one country like Italy or Germany goes, fuck this, we've had enough. Let's start making camps for all these freaks, and then all these other big nations that have enforced laws to support these people go, this is fucked, let's all come together and fight this force. No different to when all the Western powers fought Hitler. It is exactly the same.
But it's not exactly the same.
You need to let the other...
We're not talking about war now. We're talking about resources. Do you think the government actually gives a fuck about gays or transsexuals or any of this shit? They do it because it makes them fucking money.
Well, they still enforce these laws. Like Canada, they've gone out of control with it.
They've only gone out of control because of Justin Trudeau. But Justin Trudeau doesn't borrow time. He'll be dead within the next month.
Still happen, man. Like, you're still living in a country that's forcing you to like think this way. It's still like that's no different to any other ideology.
It's not forcing me to think this way. And you know what? Like the day it actually tells me I'll be forced to think this way, I'll happily fucking go down for doing whatever I need to do. Because you know what? It's better. Like anything is better. It is better to be fucking dead than red. In every sense of the word. There is nothing worse on the face of the earth than a commie piece of shit. Nothing. There never has been and there never will be. Name one thing worse than a communist.
Well, they're Marxists, not communists. No way they refer to it.
Fucking, yeah, well, what was Karl Marx? A communist. The first communist.
That's essentially the same thing, though, Marxism.
It is the same. That's right. That's right. And that is exactly what happens when you get an educated fucking Jew. Right?
What?
Karl Marx. Karl Marx is the Jew.
I don't know who he is. I've heard the term Marxism being thrown around with all these people, and I've just never.
What is he? What is he? He's the fucking.
No, what is Marxism?
He was a
Marxism is.
wasn't he?
Karl Marx was a psychologist and a fucking Jewish intellectual, also part Russian, who had this crazy idea about equality, except it wasn't equality. It was, USSR communism.
He died before the First World War.
And he passed his fucking disgusting genetic fucking legacy onto other bastards and his ideologies. And, skip forward 100 years and look where we are today. All these rubbish fucking ideas.
I don't know if he's to blame to what's happened now.
But it's obviously different. No, but you can't blame one person for the way the world is. I mean, that's just it's a social thing.
I'm not saying that.
Exactly the same as Mao. Like
every fucking cancer sprouts at one fucking point. Whether someone meant to start something or not, makes no difference. I mean, every fire has a spark, right?
Yeah. Marxism is a method of socio-economic analysis that views class relations and social conflict using a materialistic interpretation of historical development and takes a dialectical view of social transformation. It originates from the works of the guy you were talking about. So it's pretty much people who are like in power and have worked their way to power are automatically like the evil.
When we were talking about the Russian family?
Which actually, that goes back to the whole like feminists blaming men for being in power. Right. It's like, well, they work their way to get it, and you just want that. It's a quality of outcome.
Every single one of these things is exactly the same fucking concept. When we're talking about the Russian family and how they're fucking brutalized?
Yeah.
That's because of Marxism.
Yeah.
So it's essentially the same. It's just a bunch of lazy fucking factory worker wannabe motherfuckers that get upset at their lot in life because their life fucking sucks because, they either weren't smart enough or were simply too lazy to do anything that put them anywhere. They get angry at people with more than them. Whether you're born with more or whether you actually earned more, it actually makes no fucking difference at the end of the day.
No, if you look at the individuals, there's people who come from nothing and then they're...
That's right. Yeah. That's right. There are plenty of fucking people who've come from fucking rags to riches on their own accord. So, what's the excuse for the other people? Like, you simply don't have those things because you didn't want them enough. That's it.
Yeah, I've heard people go towards all people who come from bad areas, like African American areas, like Compton and Harlem and all that shit, and all these people complaining about how they're.
Oh, they don't have a chance. They don't have a chance.
But like, I remember someone said, and it made a lot of sense.
Ice Cube and Dr. Dre.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And but all these. I remember it was a black person who said it. Said you can't blame society for this. You need to blame the father. Because most people who don't grow up without a father usually have a lot of fucking problems.
That is correct.
They don't have guidance. They don't have masculinity.
This is relative as well. Feminists hate the nuclear family. They hate the idea of a mother and father being in the picture.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, this little bastard's going to be raised by me and only me. I'll poison his mind until he's 18 years old. You know, and fucking, you know.
Yeah. You need a masculine and a feminine.
You know, well, think about this, right? You know, 70% of males who commit rape grew up in single mother households. How the fuck does that work? I'll fucking give you the links. You know what that fucking means? That the driving force behind misogyny is actually the influence of women. Mother, maternal fucking parent. I've never heard of someone.
I'd say, just more the lack of having a masculine.
Of course, because there's no discipline. There's no one to tell you what's right from fucking wrong. You know, and I mean, it's just it's so fucked.
Yeah, how you grow up, like in your first fucking thing in your life, whatever. It really defines who you're going to be.
I think so too, but at the same time, I don't think anything's set in fucking stone.
Oh no! Like everyone has a chance to make a change, but it definitely, like kind of like sets you up.
You know, these people talk about it like it's fucking destiny. You know, it's like oh.
No, well, you got to take control of your own life.
That's right. It's like my family was fucking poor, so you know, I guess I'll just be poor too.
Yeah, but some people are already like born into that mindset though.
Oh look, I'm not saying well, that's what we're saying, Matt. We're saying, but at the same time, there are plenty of people who through their own fucking will or volition or whatever else. You know, decide not to. You know,
at the end of the day, you're the only one that can change the path you're on.
Yeah, and your inspirations definitely help as well. I mean, a lot of the you said Dr. Dre and all that. Like they would have had a lot of inspirations and drive.
I just
they would have said, "Fuck this shit! I'm gonna fucking make something of myself."
I just don't get it. Like
I think it's nature versus nurture or something like that. Yeah. It's something. It's like it's obviously what's like they with people with
we've had a really intelligent conversation tonight.
Yeah. Oh, you know.
I probably pushed it too far. I think I used the word Jew and commie.
You just pepper it in.
among others.
Pepper it in. As long as you're not just like full blown like hate speech and without
can't help myself. I'm just.
Yeah, I know, but like at least the conversation's going somewhere as opposed to us doing like, this goddamn niggas are fucking.
Like all I want is society to survive.
Can you not say the N-word?
Oh, sorry, did I?
You might have just slipped that in there. I apologise.
Like, have you seen San Francisco lately? Like, junkies on every fucking corner, human shit on the streets. Like, in the same fashion, dog shit is on the streets. And they're like, oh, it's a colourful country. We love the multiculturalism. And, like, everyone that goes there is like, I never want to come back to this fucking place.
Where did you see this, though? Is this on, like, an article?
Oh, yeah, you were talking about Shapiro, right?
Yeah.
He did a doco on it on San Francisco. Yeah, it was fucking disgusting, man. It looks just like India.
Yeah, I've heard that. Like, because that's a pretty like progressive area. So.
Oh yeah.
Have you been to India though? Have you seen any pictures of India with human feces on the?
Of course.
No, that's the thing. That's a thing. I got family friends that go over there.
They have designated shitting streets.
Yeah, right.
No, I've got mates with families going over there to do like what's it called? Charity work and shit. Pretty bad.
I mean,
but that's because in India you have either disgracefully poor people or like insanely rich people.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground. So like,
California and San Francisco, they're like up in arms at the moment because people have realized in a short amount of time just how much damage like excessive liberalism can do. You know, when you're allowing people to shoot up in the streets, which they actually do allow there now, it's like. And then you got normal people coming to visit and shit, and 80% of your fucking, your state's income comes from tourism, and then no one wants to go there anymore. It's like, well, what happens next? Like, San Francisco is going to be just like Detroit soon, like a completely dead fucking state with no one living there.
Like 8 Mile Road?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Detroit's like a ghost town.
Yeah, man. Like, everyone moved out of Detroit, after the fucking motor crash of, like, GM in, like, the 80s and the 90s, and it's like, there's, like, no one fucking there.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
90% of like Detroit's infrastructure is abandoned buildings.
Porn shops.
Yeah,
They're
with
fucking
Les Gold.
Is that porn stars?
Yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
no, is it, no.
Or is it
hardcore
porn?
Yeah.
Those cunts are a thriving industry.
No, man. That show actually does make me laugh. Yeah, not to be racist or anything, but every time you see some lunatic act out, it's almost always some ghetto gangbanger on
Did
that
you
show.
get
And
me
it's like,
$5 for this?
It's definitely not stolen. Some cunts like, hey, that's
Hey, let
mine.
me check with a buddy of mine. Just let me go out the back.
Uh.
I'll give you $2.
Yeah.
$2.
The guy's like, it's like, this guy that's been working, this for ages, and he's like, look at it, he's like, yeah, I reckon it's worth about $150. Guy at the counter's like, all right, I'll give you $50 for it. He just fucking said 150.
Yeah, it's all about making money, right? So
Yeah, of course. It's
And
just
it's all
funny
for
'cause
ratings
it's
as
like the
well,
guy's
isn't it?
right there.
So
it is
I
some
remember-
funny stuff, though.
I remember they had like a samurai sword that his dad he wanted to keep or something, and then Dana White comes in.
that
And
was
he
the one in Las Vegas. Though that was porn stars.
Yeah,
Oh,
porn stars.
fucking-
He's like,
Well, what happened?
or like this guy's like got like
Why was Dana White on?
Oh, fuck, it's probably all set up. Who knows? But like the dad's like bought this fucking ancient fucking samurai sword that dates back like 1,000. It's
Yeah.
like been in the same family for generations. It's like extremely rare and all this shit. And he's like, whatever you do not sell this fucking thing. And then Dana White comes in and he sees it like near the counter and he's like, how much is that? And the son just sells it to him anyways. And he just fucking
It's
flips
just
out.
obviously just for ratings.
Oh yeah, anything with Dana White's real.
Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up there.
Alrighty.
So yeah, as usual, if you like the content, like, subscribe, comment. If you want to come on the podcast and have a chat or leave a comment of what you'd want us to talk about, feel free. Until then, we'll sign out.
See you later.
Take care.